It's local. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, everybody, we welcome you in. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. Happy Friday. Oh, see, Kev's not having Happy Friday. Let me try that again. Kev, Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
There we go. My God. I mean, it's Friday. Kev, shut up. My God. We only have an hour. You just wasted 30 seconds with that very passionate Happy Friday. But no, I hope everyone's had a great Friday. I'm excited for the weekend. I'm glad that the weather is not as bad today as what they anticipated. I did learn last night that I think I have a little PTSD from the hurricane I experienced in Florida back in September. A little windy, a little too windy for my liking last night. I had no clue. It's not like, I'm not saying the house couldn't have caved in, but I'm a little weary. I didn't sleep well last night. I was up pretty late. So we have this dead tree in our backyard that I'm just waiting to fall on our house at any time. And that's all I kept just imagining, like waking up to that damn tree falling through the house and all that. But nonetheless, here we are.
Not me. Slept right through it, just like I slept through the tornado.
I mean, you're a hard sleeper then. Good for you. I wake up at every little tiny thing. And I tell you one thing, we're going to transition into this. We got a lot. We only got an hour with you guys today before we hand it off to Reds baseball, Reds spring training. The Reds have 4 more spring training games remaining before they start gearing up for opening day, which is less than a week away. In fact, 6 days away. And for those of you watching on the Facebook feed, there you see it right there. We are officially 6 days away from Reds opening day. April 1st, 4:10 the first pitch. Luis Castillo will be on the mound, 3:40 the pregame, and that's next week already, next Thursday. Wow. We're pumped about that. So the Reds have spring training games, a game today coming up at 4, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, and then they have a couple days off. They did cut Dee Gordon today. Finnegan was reassigned back to to their minor camp, so there's that. Things are shaping up. We did have an interesting conversation yesterday with Bobby Nightingale, covers the Reds for the Cincinnati Enquirer. I'm not willing to give too much credit to the Reds for putting Eugenio Suarez at shortstop. I feel like that was, everyone out there that said, see, they figured it out. Jonathan India at second. It may work out, but I'm not going to give the Reds front office too much credit for that because that's called being bailed out. There's a difference between something working out and then something and then being bailed out. The Reds might get bailed out if this Suarez at short and Moustakas at third and India at second thing actually works out. I will say that. It could work out. I think it will. But let's keep in mind, I'm not going to give the Reds too much credit for that because that's what's called being bailed out. That wasn't the plan. When we talk about what's the team's plan, I don't think that was the team's plan coming into the offseason. But if it works out, it could save the Reds some significant money moving forward. Think of the money they were going to have to pay to get a Francisco Lindor. Right. And now they have their own all-star in Eugenio Suarez at short. You have an all-star potential player in Moustakas at third. Jonathan India, I think, is going to be in running for Rookie of the Year if he's actually able to stay on the field and stay healthy. I'm a big fan of India. We met him at Reds Fest a few years ago. Very easy to talk to. Laid back, easygoing dude. Big fan of his. Hoping that he succeeds. And Votto is in the lineup tonight or today, this afternoon, here an hour from now for their spring training game against, I don't even know who they have. I don't even know where my Reds schedule is. It's a good thing, we're dating some of the Reds. But let's be honest. It's spring training. It's not, to me, I always look at spring training as I don't care who they play. Spring training is more about you than it is about who you play. In the regular season, it's very interesting who they play. I don't really care who they play in spring training. To me, it is all about themselves, how they develop themselves, who's, looking solid heading in to the regular season. That's what I care about. One thing to keep in mind, I don't know if it's COVID related, but David Bell will not be managing the Reds today. He is sidelined, and that's all the information we have. It was a very vague report, but you would have to think, you're in Arizona, it's spring training, you have 4 more games remaining, you're trying to iron out a couple more things before. It's very weird to not have David Bell there. Again, we don't know if it's COVID related or not. We could only guess and assume. But if it is, I do hope that he's okay. Again, you want everyone healthy, including the manager. Even if I don't like his managerial style, I put that aside. I hope everyone's healthy and safe and okay, especially wrapping up in Arizona, coming back to Ohio. That's the nerve-wracking part, too, is you got everyone camped out in Arizona right now. You got to get everyone back after Monday's spring training game. and then you got to go through the testing protocol again. You just got to hope that in transit that an outbreak doesn't occur,
right?
Because the Reds have a habit of really shooting themselves in the foot in April. I would hate to have this as why they shoot themselves in the foot in April, but there's that. Folks, don't worry. I'm not going to spend the whole hour talking Reds after the big news that came out of the NFL. Kev, do you have the NFL draft little chime all lined up and ready to go?
Oh, man. Oh, I do.
There it is. We got to clean that up. With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, we have no idea because so many things are happening. Actually, that's the one pick that is safe. But how about this today, the big breaking news out of the National Football League? It really caught me by surprise. Usually big news like this doesn't happen on a Friday because it's considered a Friday news dump, but that is definitely not the case right now. The Miami Dolphins had the number 3 pick. They have traded their number 3 pick with the 49ers. Now, the 49ers were at 12. The Dolphins traded back to 12. The Dolphins then took what they were able to acquire from the Niners and that packaged that up and traded back into the top 6. They got the Eagles' number 6 pick. So the Dolphins are in prime position. Good for them because they loaded up on some more first rounders. They get the number 6 pick. They were not that to me says they're not taking a quarterback.
Right.
They assume that there's 3 really good offensive linemen available, that at least 2 of those 3 are going to be available, whether it's Slater, whether it's Penei Sewell. And I think a lot of that has to do with what the Bengals do at number 5. So keep that in mind. But I did find this interesting because the 49ers now have the number 3 pick in the NFL draft. Trevor Lawrence going number 1 to the Jaguars is as good as done. I mean, I don't think there's any speculation there. You look at the number 2 pick with the Jets, the big question mark there is, are the Jets going to take Zach Wilson? Are they going to keep Sam Darnold? And, maybe, they might be trading back too. I wouldn't sit there now. Everyone that just assumes they're going to take Zach Wilson, but they just looked at the haul that both the Dolphins and the 49ers, what the 49ers gave up to trade up to number 3, they're probably saying, man, what, if teams are desperate for a quarterback, if you're Pittsburgh, do you go knock on Pittsburgh's door? Next year's draft class is horrible. Big Ben might be done after this year. Are you really going to count in 2022 on Dwayne Haskins? Duck Hodges isn't there anymore. Who's the pretty boy quarterback that they have? Helmet Head. Mason Rudolph. Helmet Head. There we go. Him. And I'm using them as I don't think that'll happen, but those are the teams that right now are kind of vulnerable that I think that the Jets can look at and say, what are you willing to give up? Now, they're a stubborn franchise, so I don't see them giving up too much, if anything at all, to make that kind of urgent decision, Kev. But the Patriots, they feel pretty comfortable that they can get Mac Jones at number 15. Do they dangle that number 2 pick in front of the Patriots? No, they won't because it's in the division. So scratch that. Plus, the Patriots feel like they can get Garoppolo now with the Niners trading up to number 2. I'm excited about this because it was getting kind of stale talking about the draft. We had beaten home all the storylines, but this just opens up a whole new can of opportunities. I love the draft, man. It is so crazy. We are talking about players who haven't even stepped foot on an NFL field, and it drives this, man. It's so dang cool. How about Justin Fields potentially going number 3 to the 49ers? Justin Fields could be the next Patrick Mahomes. This reminds me so much of what happened with Patrick Mahomes, except I'm not willing to compare it exactly alike because, remember, Patrick Mahomes wasn't Patrick Mahomes coming out of the draft. Patrick Mahomes was good. Justin Fields is good. Justin Fields could be the next Patrick Mahomes in the NFL because they both had a lot of the same similarities coming out. Big-time playmakers, can make plays with their legs, can make plays with their arms. They're very intelligent football players. Patrick Mahomes didn't go high in the draft. He went in the first round. He didn't go super high. And the Kansas City Chiefs already had a playoff team. They had a very good defense. They had a very, locked-in offense. They had Alex Smith leading it. That's what the Niners have. I could honestly see a scenario where the Niners take a Justin Fields. They don't start him. They keep Garoppolo. Because sources have come out, according to Adam Schefter, that the Niners, even with trading up, looking to get a quarterback, have no interest in trading Garoppolo. That could all be lip service. But this could be the same setup that we saw with the Kansas City Chiefs. Justin Fields sits behind a veteran quarterback who, by the way, I wouldn't get comfortable on the bench because this veteran quarterback likes to get hurt a lot. Justin Fields, I think, makes a lot of sense right here because he needs some work. And I think that's why it's a safe pick at number 3 to take him. I would take him over Lance, but I'm a big fan of Justin Fields to the Niners. Can you imagine, Kev? That's a great situation for him. He has the defense. He has the offensive line. They just invested into that. Look how much money the Niners spent on Trent Williams. They have invested into that offensive line. They already have Garoppolo. They're going to have to lose some of their key pieces defensively coming up in the next year. Nick Bosa is going to be up for a deal here in the near future. They can't afford him at this rate with what they did with Trent Williams and some of the other key pieces. They need to go cheap at quarterback. To me, Justin Fields makes a ton of sense for them. And, you get one more year out of Garoppolo, a veteran quarterback. They've taken him to a Super Bowl once when he's healthy. If he's healthy again, can he do it again? I think that they can. I'm really pumped about this, and I would love to see Justin Fields in a 49ers uniform, him and Nick Bosa having a dominant Buckeye on the defensive side and a dominant Buckeye on the offensive side. I'm pretty pumped about that opportunity if it presents itself.
Surprised you didn't call him a quitter.
Justin Fields played the whole way through, man.
No, I'm talking about
Oh, you mean quitter Bosa?
No, in all seriousness, this is the best case scenario for Justin Fields to end up with the 49ers. He gets to go high in the draft, and he gets to go to an organization that's behind him, and also play for a coach that's been able to guide guys to big contracts. Because you got to think, Shanahan was the offensive coordinator with the Washington football team when Kirk Cousins was there, when they kept giving him the franchise tag for like 3 straight years. And then eventually Kirk Cousins cashed in with the Vikings when Kyle Shanahan left. So he was able to guide him to get big money. Then he was able to guide their offense with Jimmy G to the Super Bowl. So obviously he knows what he's doing. He knows how to coach quarterbacks and get the best out of their quarterback position. So for him, this is what you want. You want to go high in the draft. Boom, you go high in the draft. You want to go to somebody that can coach you up and teach you the game of football on the NFL level so you can have success. You know, we always talk about, like, man, we want the Buckeye guys to have success in the NFL, and we want them to go high in the draft. This is a perfect case scenario, because before you and I were talking, like, man, maybe if he falls back to like the 15, 16, he goes to a team that's in a better position to win games. But now he can go high and win games. This is a great spot for Justin Fields to go to. I hope that's the play for him, and I hope that he succeeds with the 49ers, man, because like you said, that defense is lights out. The offense is lights out when, you know, nobody was hurt. Their whole offense was decimated this past season by injuries and everything like that. Then we talk about how, like, guys, like 3 guys blew out their knees in the Jets game that they played. Crazy. That type of stuff just doesn't happen. That many guys in one game. So for Justin Fields to go to the 49ers to be coached up by Kyle Shanahan, 2 thumbs up. That's a win-win.
You know, and again, Vincent Waller on Facebook. And by the way, 457-9464, if you want to jump in on the conversation. I just thought this trade was fascinating today. A blockbuster, you know, I think the term blockbuster trade is overused. This really was a blockbuster trade, because it doesn't just change the dynamic of the teams involved. It totally there's a ripple effect on everyone around, including, you know, the Jets at number 2. The Bengals were impacted by this, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But Vincent Waller says he believes the Jags take Trevor Lawrence. That's a given. The Jets will take Wilson. He thinks the 49ers will take Lance at 4 or at 3, and that Atlanta will take Fields. He did say Mahomes' arm is 10,000 times better than Fields. He said my OSU fandom is showing. Vince, I'm considered one of the biggest Buckeye haters out there. I think I'm pretty good at not letting my fandom show, but I do think that this is the best case scenario. Also, when it comes to Lance, I mean, he's had less than, I think he's only started 16. A season and a half, 16 starts. Yeah. And he's been, you know, he struggled in one of the bigger games that he played in last year. I'm just not big.
Well, he only played in one game last year.
So the year before, they said the 2 best teams he played against, he really struggled. Listening earlier, I'm not saying he's going to be bad, but again, I just think that Justin Fields, if there's ever a time to trust a Buckeye quarterback, that this would be the guy to do it. But I've always supported those who have pointed out the flaws in Fields' game. But I think a lot of that comes with, he doesn't handle a lot of, pressure on him. Well, they just invested into their offensive line like you wouldn't believe. I don't think that's going to be a problem for Justin Fields. He also said, no way Mac Jones makes it to number 15. The Panthers coach loves him, and they take him at 8. So there's that. So, but anyways, 457-9464. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. If you're just tuning in, of course, reacting to the big trade, the big blockbuster trade in the NFL today. When you look at it, the Dolphins, the 49ers trade up to number 3. They get the number 3 pick of the NFL draft. The 49ers trade up to number 3 with the Dolphins. The Dolphins at that time got the number 12 pick. They also received a 2021 third rounder and a first rounder in both 22 and 23. That's the haul that was given up for that. Now, after that, the Dolphins said, okay, we're at number 12, but we want to get back into the top 10. We want to get back into the top 6. Then they traded with the Eagles to get back up to the number 6 pick. And that's where the Dolphins right now are picking up there. And again, they were able to pick up a couple more first rounders. They were able to use one of those to give back to the Eagles to pop back up. That's what I find fascinating about this. So here's what I have. Trevor Lawrence 1, Zach Wilson 2, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, number 3 to the Niners. I think it's Justin Fields, but again, Trey Lance has picked up a lot of steam. It reminds me, the last time we had a draft this deep at quarterback, it was the Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, that group. And it could be very well where we're talking about the main 3 being, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance. We're talking, and then Wilson. Mac Jones is on the outside looking in of those four, but it could be Mac Jones, could be the Lamar Jackson of this group where we're not paying too much close attention to him, paying attention to these four. He could end up being the best of all these guys. Right. Who knows how all that's going to pan out. But I get to number 4 with the Falcons. I also have Justin Fields, Trey Lance. I think the quarterbacks do go 1 through 4 in this. But I get to the Bengals, and I do believe that someone said today they believe that the Bengals won today, because now they have literally options. I think options hurt the Bengals here, and here's why. I think that they know they need to go offensive line, but they are infatuated with the skill set players. Mike Brown has a history of not respecting the offensive line. I'm not going into an I hate the Bengals rant today, but I think Penei Sewell being available at 5 hurts the Bengals, because I think that the Bengals were counting on the Dolphins to take Penei Sewell at number 3, what's sticking with Tua Tagovailoa. And then, of course, that was their excuse to be able to take Kyle Pitts and get away with it. Now I think the Bengals really do want Kyle Pitts. And by the way, I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the Bengals if they take him. Or Jamar Chase, former teammate of Joe Burrow at LSU. Those two pieces are nice, but they need Penei Sewell. And to pass up on Penei Sewell, I think, is a huge mistake. And I think the Dolphins at number 3, taking Penei Sewell, would have bailed out the Bengals. Now I think that there's going to be a lot of criticism of Cincinnati if they head into next offseason with a bunch of rookie offensive linemen, not Penei Sewell and Kyle Pitts. I don't care what kind of skill position players you have. If your quarterback's not upright, that means nothing. Travis Kelce was in the Super Bowl last year. Was he? Oh, no, he wasn't, because Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL by like 10,000 miles, was on his ass the whole time, and Kelce was a non-factor. So Pitts will be a non-factor. Jamar Chase will be a non-factor. Boyd and whoever will be, T. Higgins, Mixon, everyone will be a non-factor if the Bengals don't go get true talent on that offensive line, which they do not have right now. So I think that they need to take Penei Sewell there, but I don't think they want to. I think that they got the Reef, or whatever the hell his name is, to lock him in there. I'm telling you right now, I don't think the Bengals are happy about that move today, because Penei Sewell will be there, and they have to decide, do we go with the popular pick of taking Penei Sewell to give off the vision that we truly care about Joe Burrow and our offensive line? Or do we get stubborn? Do we go for the skill position player? That's what they did that with Ross years ago. They went, with the position they didn't, they needed one, but they didn't need to go first round pick there. All I'm saying is I think that's going to be an interesting number 5 pick for the Bengals. Now, it was easy. The Dolphins take Sewell. Now the Bengals are out. There's no pressure on them to take a Kyle Pitts or to take a Jamar Chase. How do you take Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase if he is still right there at number 5? I think that's going to put the Bengals in a tough spot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then it goes back to our point we were talking about yesterday about them signing Reef and then drafting Penei Sewell, and then also having Jonah Williams. So then you're in that flux of like, all right, we got 3 starting caliber tackles. One of them is going to have to play out of position next year, and probably is going to be the rookie. So then you're in that limits. But I'm with the Bengals going with the offensive lineman, because that's the position of need. You got a great one on the board, potentially right there waiting for you in your lap. You can't mess this up and say, you know what, we're going to go get more explosive weapons. Weapons are cool, but like I always say, man, the game is won and lost at the offense and defensive line. If you can't get pressure on the quarterback, I don't care if you got Deion Sanders, I don't care if you got Rod Woodson, I don't care if you got Ed Reed back there, they're going to eventually get open. So if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, and it's also vice versa, if you can't protect your quarterback, I don't care who you got back there throwing the ball. Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes.
We saw the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is a prime example of that. That wasn't Patrick Mahomes' fault. That wasn't the Chiefs' fault. It was, injuries happens, part of the game. Yes,
NFL is a war of attrition, man.
And so, but it's one thing if the war of attrition knocks you out, but to head into the season with no weapons up front, that's where the stupidity and the ignorance of that front office comes into play here. They need to take Penei Sewell. They've backed themselves into a corner with the Reef signing because they're locked in. Those guys aren't versatile. Reef isn't very versatile as far as that's concerned, and they've already told him he's locked in at right tackle. You're not going to move Jonah Williams, so that's going to be my concern as far as that. I think that the Bengals will get a lot of flack if they do not take him, but I think that they want Kyle Pitts. Mike Brown's a businessman, and that's why he's always gone after that. An older T.O. Jerseys will be sold. Tickets will be sold. People want to go see T.O. People want to see Chad Ochocinco. People, if John Ross would have worked out, people wanted to go see a speedy guy like John Ross, hopefully be the next like Tyreek Hill type guy. That didn't work out. So that's what I'm saying is here, He doesn't like going boring. He likes going for the flashy guys. Sewell's not flashy. That's why I think Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase is going to be who the Bengals ultimately end up going with, which is fine if Penei Sewell's not there. But I think their job just got a whole lot harder with Penei Sewell. Most likely, in fact, I guarantee it, he will be there at 5. I mean, we know the first 4 teams are all going quarterback, and if the Jets don't go quarterback, they're trading back. So there's that. All right. I see a couple callers on hold. We're going to get to your calls and reaction right away on the other side of the break. We'll start with Zach when we come back. 457-9464. Get your spot in line or head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show, and jump in the chat and let us hear your takes, and we'll bring them into the show. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy, a high near 60. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy, a low around 43. And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy, a high around 72. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsommers.com. That's Sommers with an O, kirklandandsommers.com.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
It's such a beautiful night. Look at the stars.
They're amazing. Did you know 20% of stars have planets orbiting them capable of sustaining life?
How did you know that? You must spend a ton of time reading.
Not at all. I use Blinkist.
Blinkist?
Yeah, it's an app that takes key insights from over 4,000 nonfiction bestsellers and gathers them into 15-minute blinks for you to read or listen to. With Blinkist, you can learn the main points of an entire book in just 15 minutes, as opposed to days or weeks.
What kind of books?
Nonfiction books in over 27 categories, from personal development to history, management, investing, philosophy, and more. Books like A Beautiful Mind, The 4-Hour Workweek, Freakonomics, and Sapiens. Blinkist makes it easy to learn about pretty much anything.
Like the stars?
Even the stars.
Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.com/live. To get this special offer, go to Blinkist.com/live. That's Blinkist.com/live.
We're all ready for spring. Now's the time to get ready for spring projects with help from the Home Depot. Install a brand new faucet, lay down fresh new flooring, roll on a bright new coat of paint. Need to figure square footage or paint coverage? Our project calculators will do the math. Do it all from our app and get delivery right to your door. Download our mobile app to get started. Bring on spring with innovative help from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
Are you ready for the real madness? It's the online Miami Valley Fortnite Tournament, brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and Connect Esports. Area youth ages 9 to 17 are invited to compete Saturday, April 10th, with a max of 99 players. Prizes will include passes for you and a group of friends to the Connect Esports console room, along with a giant Lee's Party pack of food or a brand new PlayStation 5. You must live within the Miami Valley to participate. For complete contest rules and to register, check out the events tab at connectesports.com.
Spring forward at Banana Republic Factory with 50 to 70% off everything. Shop season favorites from colorful dresses to easy tops from $19.99. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. Shop 50 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory. Get 60% off select jeans and dresses. Shop the sale through March 28th at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
It's time for Hoops and Hops at Milano's with all your big screen games and the beer selection to back it up. Order up your favorite subs and pizzas and pick a brew from the Milano's world-class selection. The weekend starts at Milano's Pizza, Subs, and Taps.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Merrill Guided Investing. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. Member SIPC.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to win $1,000. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway. Each hour starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, we'll release a winning word that you can submit at wingam.com. It's easy, it's free, and you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So what's stopping you? Take a chance and swing for the fences and participate at wingam.com. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. So let's do a quick recap here. 49ers trade up to number 3 with the Dolphins. The 49ers now have the number 3 overall pick. The Dolphins had the number 12 pick before they ultimately traded back into the top 10 with the Eagles at number 6. And, well, the Dolphins just keep racking up first-round picks like Pokemon cards, man. Good for them. Now, can they do anything with it? The Dolphins are on the verge of becoming the Oklahoma City Thunder of the NFL, where everyone brags about Preston, collecting all these draft picks. He has 36 draft picks Presti does for the Thunder. They have all these draft picks. You've had all these good players. It has to turn into something eventually, right? So the Dolphins, though, they are in good shape moving forward. I like what they're doing, but I love the Niners at number 3. I think that's where Justin Fields is ultimately going to end up. Some out there believe that's where Trey Lance is going to end up. The bottom line is the Niners are in pretty good position here. If they choose to go into the season with Garoppolo, to attack the season with the veteran quarterback, hoping that he stays healthy. Last time he was healthy for the full season with this defense. This offense is better now than it was 2 years ago. They got to a Super Bowl, hoping to get back there again if he could stay healthy. But if not, that's a big opportunity for Trey Lance or Justin Fields if it does come to that. I'm excited to see what the Niners do at number 3. As I mentioned, you look at the Falcons have the number 4 pick. I also put Justin Fields / Trey Lance because I think whoever the Niners don't select is ultimately who the Falcons ultimately take. But I do believe this. I think that the job for the Bengals just got a lot tougher. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals know that they're battling, PR. They don't have a good handling on their PR. They don't want Penei Sewell, in my opinion. I think the offensive line is boring. I think it's boring to them. It's not exciting. It doesn't excite the fan base. Last year, they got Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, and it felt like the fan base finally united. They started attacking boobs like me. After agreeing with boobs like me for years, they finally said, you know what? We are set. Screw guys like Kenner for saying that we're bad. We're really, really good. That's how exciting it was to get Joe Burrow and T. Higgins last year. And I don't think that happens when you draft offensive linemen. I think that they know that. I think that they want to draft Kyle Pitts. I think they want Jamar Chase. I think they want those guys. But I think they were counting on the Dolphins to select Penei Sewell at number 3 before they traded that pick away to the Niners now, and the Niners aren't going to take an offensive lineman. So now the Cincinnati Bengals are in a tough spot. Penei Sewell doesn't have a spot on the offensive line right away. You draft a guy like him to start him right away, and now I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to select Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase, but they're going to get a lot of backlash, especially from people like me. But I do think that it has made their job a lot more difficult. Steve Stetler on Facebook says, no way they take Sewell. He's not proven. You can get offensive linemen later. Bring Chase to Cincinnati. Burrow and Chase are a dynamic combo. Look, technically, Jamar Chase isn't a proven commodity. I mean, Penei Sewell was dominant in college, just like Jamar Chase was, and both opted out of last year. So
how does he figure that Penei Sewell wasn't dominant at Oregon?
He's just saying he's not proven. Well, no one's proven.
Proven.
No one's proven.
Like, he's proven what he had to prove at the level that he was playing in college.
And that's my point, is just like Jamar Chase. I mean, anyone that you want the Bengals to take technically isn't proven. So to say that Penei Sewell's not proven, I definitely get what he's saying, but I have to disagree, though. I mean, if you're going to say they shouldn't take him because he's not proven, then you shouldn't draft any player ever, because none of them are proven. Penei Sewell is the best at his position. Jamar Chase technically might be the best at his position in this draft. You can argue about some of the other receivers between Jaden Waddle, Devontae Smith, and others, but it's going to be an interesting pick, number 5 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their pick just got more difficult, in my opinion. I think they love the fact that the Dolphins needed an offensive lineman. I think Mike Brown loved that the Dolphins were most likely going to take Sewell there, because then he didn't have to, and that he got a get out of jail free card. Now he could take Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase without anyone criticizing him, saying, well, we would have taken him if he was there, but since he's not, that's why. But if he's there and then they select Kyle Pitts and then Sewell goes on to be an all-pro, that's going to be very difficult. And to counter the other guy's point, Steve on Facebook, when he goes, get an offensive lineman later on, you can get offensive linemen later. You're not going to get offensive linemen later that are as good as him.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins are right where they want to be. They force the other teams ahead of them to make the decision. Like, okay, Bengals, you make the decision. You going to get Penei Sewell, or you going to go ahead?
Dolphins have their feet kicked up.
Yeah, because they know
like
they're going to
Slater.
get him or Slater.
Yep. So
they're like, you make the decision. The difficult part is on the teams ahead of them. I love what the Dolphins are doing. I know we're not in Miami or anything like that, but I love what the Dolphins are doing. They were able to flip over their roster by basically doing a fire sale the last couple of seasons and flip their roster throughout the draft, and now they're going to be big players. It's all going to come down to if Tua is the guy or not, and they're going to have to find out. But to their credit, they're doing everything in their power to do so. They're putting themselves in position to get that anchor of the offensive line. So I really like what the Dolphins are doing.
I think what the Dolphins are doing as well, I think this has a lot to do with Deshaun Watson. Again, don't want to get into the stuff he's being accused of, but let's just say that what he's being accused of goes away and he's available again. He does not want to play for the Texans. Now the Dolphins have all these first-round picks lobbed up. So you're either going to use those picks and continue strengthening your roster, or now you can go to the Texans and say, we got all these first-round picks. Just give them to us. We'll take Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And now you have all that depth on both sides of the ball with Deshaun Watson. Now that's going to be the missing link for them. Or if that doesn't happen, they have all these first-round picks. You can get a quarterback later if Tua doesn't work out. I just think that right now draft picks are so valuable, not because of who you draft with them, but because of who you could trade for.
Right.
With that, having that flexibility. That's all I got to say about that. Also, keep in mind, Dak Prescott could be available for a trade here. The Dallas Cowboys had to get a deal done with him. Doesn't mean that they want to be married to him long term. If in a year or two, or even the Seahawks, they want to use, there's going to be quarterbacks for the Dolphins to get. I know next year's draft class isn't great as far as quarterbacks are concerned, but as long as you have draft capital, you can go get any quarterback you want. Every year, there's this dysfunctional, these dysfunctional relationships between quarterbacks and their teams. Hell, a year from now, we could be talking about Aaron Rodgers in Miami. That would be huge, and they would have the capital to make it happen, as the Packers would definitely need some more draft picks. Let's go to the phones, Kev. 457-9464. Reaction to everything that's happened today. The Blockbuster trade that the Niners have traded up to number 3. I believe they take Justin Fields, but I'm curious people's thoughts. One more shout out, Jake Whiting on Facebook. Shout out to him. He's a big Bengals fan. He said, I agree, the Bengals job did get harder. Bottom line is they're going to end up with a good player no matter what at number 5. But Kev, who we got on hold?
We got Zach.
Zach, thanks for holding, man. How are you?
Well, thanks, Justin. I just want to let you know I appreciate you guys doing your job. So,
hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. We appreciate you listening more than anything. So thanks. What you got for us today?
So with the trade back from the number 3, the Dolphins get a king's ransom for pick number 3 and move back up to number 6. Is it conceivable that, Atlanta or the Jets do not go quarterback, and at pick 6, the Dolphins have just positioned themselves for the 4th quarterback to be taken?
I mean, if they really want a quarterback, Mac Jones isn't. Mac Jones could technically go there if that's what they really wanted. I just think that I don't think they would have done all this maneuvering around if they weren't interested, if they were interested in a quarterback. But you do make a good point. If they're really smart and they're playing chess and not checkers, they say, hey, we could still get our quarterback at number 6 and acquire all these draft picks and go from there. But look, I think that they want to they're kind of in the same position as the Jets. They have a quarterback. They're not sold on him, but they don't know if it's time to move on from them right now or not. And I think that's what they're kind of gambling with. We just saw the Dolphins make a big move today. I'm worried. I'm curious what the Jets do. The Jets might have looked at what the Dolphins got and say, hey, we want to play this game too. They want to get a Russell Wilson or a Deshaun Watson. And if they can acquire a bunch of first round picks, they could potentially trade their number 2 pick and build up on those.
Or look, even on draft day, what if the Dolphins decide they don't like who's there and they get a second king's ransom for if there's a 4th quarterback available at that pick and move back and get more tools for Tua?
They've just made 2 trades for picks today. They're not afraid to do it. Some teams get really paranoid with that. They're showing that they're not. I'm with you. I think that right now the Dolphins have been one of the smarter organizations over the last 3 or 4 years, kind of going through this rebuild process. And I love their coach. I love the front office right now. They're making a lot of A-plus decisions. It's kind of hard to knock any decision they make moving forward. So we'll see how it works out.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Zach, take care, man. The Jets are another team too.
Yeah.
You can't look at what the Dolphins just got for that. The Dolphins have Sam Darnold. They could be safe. They could trade back, acquire a bunch of first round picks. And the same thing I said about the Dolphins. Now they can go to the Seahawks
and acquire a bunch of talent on low contracts. You brought up Deshaun Watson. I did want to say this. One, I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's innocent. But it ain't a good look when you have this many people coming out accusing you of the crimes that they're accusing him with. If I'm a team and the Texans start calling now, like, hey, we're looking to trade Deshaun. What do you got? I'm not touching it. And you know how I feel about Deshaun Watson as a football player. I love him. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I can't touch him until this thing is solved. I got to hear more. If I'm a franchise, unless the Houston Texans are talking about like a 7th round pick for him, I'm not doing it, man, because before, we're talking about like how much that the Rams got for Stafford and everything like that. Oh, man, what's Deshaun going to get? Hey, man, right now, Deshaun ain't getting nothing. The Houston Texans are getting nothing out of Deshaun Watson if they're trying to trade him. And it's not any fault of their own right now. It's because of everything that Deshaun Watson has going on in his personal life. If I'm a franchise out there, man, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, man. Like I said,
look, I'm not defending him or doing that. He didn't do anything. But all this stuff just seems, if you're into conspiracy theories, go. There's a connection between the owner and about 5 or when I started reading this, there's a close connection between the owner and 5 of the girls that have accused him of this. Yeah. Some of this goes back years ago, not doing the victim blaming thing, not even coming close to that. This is why we stayed away from this topic. But like, if you're a connect the dots kind of person, you're a conspiracy theorist, go read up on this. I don't know, just not a fan of it's the only reason I wouldn't buy into the conspiracy theory of the Texans kind of going at him is because they're not doing themselves any favors.
Right, exactly.
So that's the only reason I kind of debunk a lot of the conspiracy theorists out there that try to say that this is the Texans kind of getting back at him. Mm-hmm. The only reason I would not buy into that is, even though the Texans don't have good business practices as it is, it would not be good business to put your star quarterback, who is worth a king's ransom as it is, and make him just basically,
to make you
just
play
give
for
him
him.
away. Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, man, I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's innocent, man. But just until this thing is over and done with, until business is taken care of off the field, I'm not touching him.
I don't blame you. Let's who do we got? 457-9464. Steve, how are you, sir? Welcome.
Hey guys, I gotta agree with Kev on that. I wouldn't touch Deshaun Watson either. There's just too much smoke floating around. You don't know if there's going to be fire. But I want to call in to tell you why I don't think Sewell's the guy for the Bengals. I put it on Facebook. Bottom line is he played in the Pac-12, man. I mean, he played like 20 games. Now, I'm not saying he's not an outstanding physical guy, but if he played in the SEC like Chase did, it's a better sample size to me than the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is weak. The Pac-12's been weak forever. So why not go get some free agents to fill your offensive line? Even with Chase sitting out, they still have the most 15-yard completions downfield, in his tenure with LSU right now than anybody else does in the last 4 years.
Hey, stay in the middle. Stay in the lane, dude. I hear you hitting the rumble strips. You got to pay attention.
Riding that burn.
I'm hitting it. I'm in my Camaro today, so I'm kind of hitting it.
Oh, look at you. Living the life, man. I like that. No, look, I'll agree with you on this part. The Bengals should have built that offensive line through free agents and then used every draft pick on offensive skill positions. I'm with you 1,000,000% there. But everything you just said about, how he's not proven, you could say that about any rookie out there. Jamar Chase sat out a year. That how much is that going to impact him? I think that the guys that have been impacted the most by sitting out, I think Micah Parsons is another one that if had he played, I don't think he's going to drop as much as what people have said now. But I'm with you. I think they need to get some offensive linemen in free agency, but they're not willing to spend money there. And I just think that the front office for the Bengals, they're enamored with skill players. I think they are going to take a Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase. And Joe Burrow's he's even been vocal about wanting to play with Jamar Chase as well. Hey, we just got a counter for you, by the way. Matt Sturgeon on Facebook. Anthony Munoz, best Bengals offensive lineman of all time, one of the best offensive linemen in history of the NFL. He played at USC. He played in the Pac-12.
Okay, that's years ago when USC was a football team.
That's a good point. That's a good point, too.
I mean, come on. When's the last time USC's been relevant in anything? Other than basketball this year. But, they got guys that can go across the middle, 10 yards, 15 yards down the field already. The Bengals do. Ross, they missed on big time. I don't think Chase is a miss. And I think if he's there, I would take him over Sewell all day long. But being a Dolphin fan, I'm pretty happy where we are right now, too.
I think you're in good shape. You guys are playing chess. Everyone else is playing checkers. I think I just heard the Bengals try to say king me a little bit ago. But, hey, usually we go longer, but we're up against the clock today with the Reds coming up here in a few. So I appreciate the call, man. You take care. Enjoy your Camaro, by the way. Stay in the middle. You drive? Okay, cool. He's gone. All right, we're going to step away for a few moments, but I love all the different takes on this. That's what makes the draft so fun is there's so many different ways to look at it. The bottom line is I will say this. As much as I bash the Bengals, Pitts is a great pick. Jamar Chase is a great pick. They need Sewell. I don't think they will, but if they take Sewell, that's a great pick. The Bengals are in a good position, but I do believe they're going to mess up by not taking Sewell from a PR standpoint. But overall, they're going to end up with a future Pro Bowler between Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts, in my opinion. I hope they take Sewell. I just don't think that they will. And they're still in a lot of offensive linemen, free agents. There are still in a lot of rumors out there and reports of them pursuing a lot of offensive linemen and free agency. Maybe my opinion on that will change if they sign one or two more good quality guys, not practice squad, guys, not like Isaiah Prince and guys like that, like true quality guys. That's what I'm waiting on right now.
Buckeye, man.
Once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye.
Let's take Martell.
We'll be back in a moment.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
There's nothing better than a fresh-made home-style meal, but not everyone loves the hassle of cooking. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home-style happens here with our famous 12-piece family meal at a great price. This famous family meal includes 12 mixed pieces of Lee's fresh, never-frozen chicken that is honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and cooked to perfection, plus 3 large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. Get a home-style meal made easy today with Lee's 12-piece family meal at a great price. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, We're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsummers.com. That's Summers with an O, kirklandandsummers.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring owner-operator and fleet owners. Dedicated home daily round-trip lanes. That's right, round-trip, get paid for all miles, 100% no-touch freight. Cordell is offering great pay, a discounted fuel program, and free on-site truck parking, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus per truck. Take advantage of the dedicated round-trip miles, sign-on bonus, and home every day or every other day. Go online to CordellTransportation.com to apply today. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details. These days, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, you could stop paying for car repairs. That's right. You might not have to pay a penny to have it repaired. Just call 800-998-0633 now to see if you qualify. You must have an automobile made from 1999 or higher, and all repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Call 800-998-0633 today and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. That's right, total protection for your car and no more repair bills. Plus, call 800-998-0633 right now and get free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Call 800-998-0633 right now to see if your car qualifies. That's 800-998-0633. Never pay for car repairs again. Just call 800-998-0633. 800-998-0633.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Update your home's exterior with new siding and get 11% off everything at Menards. Timbercrest Premium Double 4-inch Vinyl Siding is engineered to be durable, 15% thicker, and has the look of natural cedar siding. It has a limited lifetime warranty and is available in 9 colors. $679 per 12.5-foot piece after 11% off. Good through March 27th. Savings or mailing rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
It's time for Hoops and Hops at Milano's. With all your big screen games and the beer selection to back it up. Order up your favorite subs and pizzas and pick a brew from the Milano's world-class selection. The weekend starts at Milano's Pizza, Subs, and Taps.
Merrill Guided Investing. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC.
The madness is officially here. It's the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge, presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. $100 in Frickers bucks to the overall winner. Plus, you could win $1 million by filling out the perfect bracket. Submit your Basketball Mayhem tournament bracket at wingam.com. On Twitter,
Make sure to give us a follow.
search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, we are back 6 days away from Reds opening day, which you can catch right here on Dayton's home of the Cincinnati Reds, 1410 Wing AM, a week from yesterday. We're 6 days away, as I mentioned, but it'll be a 4:10 first pitch, 3:40 will be the pregame, and of course we'll be shortened again, but it's fine. Especially for regular season baseball.
Real baseball.
I'm pretty excited about that. And again, a year ago at this time, the other day I was saying, man, how did we do a show for 4 months with no topics, with no live sports? We did it, but man, it was 4 straight months of, when do you think we're going to get sports back? When do you think we're going to get sports back? But nonetheless, we have time. I want to give a shout out to Trotwood Madison's Amari Davis, one of my favorite high school players I've ever had the chance to watch play here locally. Fantastic talent. He ended up going to Green Bay out of the Horizon League for his freshman and sophomore year. I shared the story. As a freshman, he averaged 16 points a game, and he only had taken like 3 3-pointers, missed all of them, or 8. I think it was 8 3-pointers. He was 0 for 8 from 3. But you got to understand, for a freshman guard in D1 college basketball to average 16 points a game without a 3-point shot in today's basketball, with the way it's centered around the 3, that was one of my favorite stats about him. Then my second favorite stat was that he shot almost 30% from 3 a year later, because I averaged 16 a game with no 3-point shot. Imagine what I could do if I could add that to my repertoire. And he was fantastic. The team wasn't as good. They had a coaching change, lost some key pieces. He entered the transfer portal, and he is now going to be playing in the SEC. He is now a Missouri Tiger. So a shout out to Amari Davis.
That's awesome,
I'm pulling for him, man. I'm pulling for him. I wish he would, on the right state, but no, it's okay. No, but he's awesome, and I'm hoping for the best for him. We can get another call in, Kev. Who do we have? We only have 60 seconds.
We got DoorDash Ray.
DoorDash Ray, you got like 40 seconds, man. How are you? All right, who we got next?
We had Dan, but Dan is gone as well.
So we are good. We'll catch up with some of the callers here in a bit. But so actually we're done with callers because we have to wrap up here. We do have Reds baseball coming up. But what a freaking day. I want to comment on this too before we go. Shaka Smart left Texas and is now the head coach at Marquette.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, why would you leave Texas to go there? Look, I don't think this is hard to figure out. I do believe that the writing was on the wall. You brought up a good point, and I'll let you get to about Tom Herman here in a moment. But I think that this was one of those safe moves for him. He saw the writing on the wall. No tournament wins. They weren't dominating. I mean, this is why sometimes you swing and miss. I don't blame Texas for hiring him. They should have hired him. I don't blame Indiana for hiring Archie Miller. You should hire Archie Miller. I had no problem with Texas hiring Tom Herman. You should always hire the hottest free agent available coach, I should say, that's out there. And if it doesn't work out, like I refuse when I hear people say Indiana made a mistake hiring Archie. No, they didn't. Anyone out there would have killed to get Archie Miller 4 years ago. Now it may not be the case, which is unfortunate because I don't think the guy doesn't know how to coach. It just didn't work out at Indiana. Right. Texas didn't make a mistake with Shaka. It's just that's what it is. But they have to get a veteran coach. I said the same thing about Indiana. I said the same thing about Texas football. That's why they went after Urban Meyer before they ultimately ended up with Sarkisian. That's why Indiana almost had a deal done with Thad Matta, which I would have absolutely freaking loved. That would have been fantastic. But your thoughts real quick.
On the Tom Herman situation, he got that vote of confidence right before the bowl game, and then 2 weeks later he got fired. So Shaka Smart, living up to his last name. He's seeing, like you said, things written on the wall. You know what? I'm going to get out of here before y'all have this closed door meeting and decide that I'm not good enough for this job anymore, and I'm going to go get me another job somewhere else.
All right. Last thing on the way out the door, we got Reds baseball coming up. Basketball Mayhem presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. For those of you who are not in dead last like me, head to wingam.com, check the status of your bracket, find out where you are, and you got the Sweet 16 coming up this weekend and the Elite 8, and we're pretty pumped about that. We'll know who our Final Four team is. Final Four teams are our Elite 8 teams by the time we come back on Monday, so I'm pretty pumped about that. But everyone, we appreciate you tuning in for the shorter show today. We'll be back next week. Have a great weekend. Until next week, this has been the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.